want to put the subject, what do you expect? What are you expecting? What are you expecting? I remember a time, I picked this part up for a reason. I remember a time when we used to go to bed when the news went on December 24th. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You went to bed and you went to sleep. You didn't fake it, you went to sleep. You would wake up 6 or so, but if for some ungodly reason that you woke up at 3 or 4, you dare not put your foot on the floor out of that bed. You laid in that bed and you acted like you were sleeping. Because you knew you got up before Mama got up. The first priority on Mama's list would be to whoop your behind and ruin your Christmas. And at the designated time, you got up and you went to wherever the tree was.
Yeah, that's right.
And Santa Claus had put the gift, now the gifts wasn't there when you went to bed. The tree was buried. Santa Claus came while you were asleep. You would get up and you would go to the tree and see all of the gifts that Santa Claus brought you. And you would like your gifts. And you would appreciate whatever gift you got, whether it was on your list or not. You had an appreciation for the fact that Santa Claus had been to your house and you played with whatever Santa Claus brought you and you liked it. You didn't make no list. You didn't go to Best Buy and spend $500 on something that you hook up to your TV and play with your phone. Maybe that was probably you didn't buy your Christmas gift ahead of time. Wrap your own gift. Put your own gift under the tree. Then try to get up at 1 o'clock to buy the gift you already know what it is because you bought it. You expected something out of Christmas. That's what Christmas was. That's what Advent is. You are expecting something great and great. Advent is a time of hope, and hope should bring about expectation. But now I wonder what our expectations really are. Because hope has no power if there's no expectation or the expectation has been tainted. Now, let me demonstrate this. I need my volunteers. I just need four or five. People who think they are good. People who think that they are able to defeat the pastor. This is your chance to make the pastor look stupid. I'm in this competition. We're in a competition. That's what we got here. Four brave people who think that they're going to outdo the pastor. Y'all really think y'all can outdo him? I'm going to ask you to pick a balloon. Pick a balloon. I'm going to say one for me. Say one for me. Okay. Are y'all satisfied with the balloons you have? Okay? Don't want to change? Don't want to swap? Don't want to, sure? That's that. you got to use. Okay, y'all take this contest and you're going to blow up a balloon. I say this is so you don't understand. You're going to blow up a balloon. And the person who blows up the balloon, the biggest, will win. But you have to blow it up with the least amount of physical effort. Now, let me rephrase it. The least amount of energy. So that means you'll have to take real deep breaths. And one breath, now you have to take 2 or 3 or 4 breaths to do that. The object is to get the biggest balloon, the easiest. Okay? All right? When you get your balloon to the size that you think you want to stop, tie it up, run on a tie balloon. Okay. Now, think about this now. If you overextend your balloon and it pops, you will not get another balloon. So you have to know when to stop. Okay? It has to be the biggest. It has to be bigger than mine. Okay? Now, third rule is, this is not a race, so don't kill yourself. Don't kill yourself. Take your time. We're not racing. So go ahead and begin. Ready? We ain't supposed to go past 12 inches, but you did pretty good. You didn't go past 12 inches. I ain't go up to you. I'm still working on it. It just take a while. I want to race. Get there. Y'all ready to give up yet? I ain't ready to see that. Keep going, man. I'm sorry. What do you all want? Where's my microphone? Everybody figured and thought that because they had their own balloon, their balloon would go so far. Your expectations of winning were based on the limitations of your balloon. You didn't think to get a different balloon, did you? Of course, you didn't know I had this balloon. Oh, thank you. Let me let you. Let's go. You can keep your balloon. I'm gonna let this balloon down. You don't keep on keeping. And we'll what happens is we base our expectations on our own limitations of what we think is going to happen and what we think we can do based on what we think. But Paul says, now unto him who is able to do exceedingly and abundantly more than we think. We rely on our own resources. So therefore our expectations are limited. Instead, we should be putting our expectations on God, who can do so much more than what we think we can do ourselves. And we hinder ourselves. We're limited because we are not able to, and I believe sometimes the church is limited from what we receive from God. Because we limit our expectations from God. We actually put our own expectations on God. God is not going to give me any more than what I have expected God to do. I expect God to give me a nice car. God can give you all the cars if you wanted to. But we limit God because our expectations, I think that's a bad parody in it. We limit our expectations because we put expectations on him that have boundaries that are based on our own human boundaries. This does not say God is a limited God. God has all the resources, all the cattle on 1,000 hills. He has an abundance of things that he can bless us with supposed to. So it does not say God is short-sighted. It's just our expectations of God is limited because we don't we are afraid to get out of the box, as they say. The church does three things, and I want to challenge you in three areas in hopes that it might help you expand or enlarge your expectations of who God really is. And the first thing I really want to start with is the church. I want to challenge you to expand your expectations of the church. Not the building, even though the building is very much a part of the church. Let me just put it bluntly here for a second. What did you honestly expect to happen here today? Most of you expected the choir to sing. You expect the preacher to preach. Some of you expect to be out of here by 12:45. I doubt if I make that expectation. But you expect to have communion. Did anyone come here today expecting someone to be saved? Did you invite anybody who needs to be saved? Don't try to make yourself feel good now. The list may go on and on. But how many came anticipating something spiritual to happen in their life? If you look at Acts 3, there's a story about a young man who was lame. He was in his bed, and Paul was preaching and teaching in the temple, and his friends couldn't get in, and they went on top of the house and broke a hole in the house and lowered him down from the ticket, because a lot of folk were in there. You know, so they were desperate to see Jesus. He had a desire to see and to hear about Jesus. He couldn't get in, so they did something most folk don't do. Not every Sunday will somebody cut a hole in this roof to lower somebody in here who can't get into the front door. They were expecting to hear from God. They had to expand their analogies. Every day the church went right past this man on their way to church. They would sing about how God is able to heal. They would sing about how good God was, but nobody really invited him to come with him, so he made up his own mind and said, I'm going to do this since you all don't want to bring me. He expanded his own expectations, and sometimes when you expand your expectations, you have to think outside the box. If I need to know Jesus, exactly what must I do to know him? Well, sometimes you might have to think